Yeah, let's take a look at a sales prospecting idea for you, which I call 10 touch points, because I like the word 10. 10's got a good ring to it. I call it 10 touch points. There you go. Now, we're going to have a great Christmas this year. Looking forward to Christmas big time. I love Christmas. I love Christmas Day. I think the whole thing's just fantastic. I really do. I love it when you get a lot of people around the table and you all tuck into a good old Christmas tucker. And this year we're thinking about purchasing a product we talked about last year, I got around to it, which is called a food hostess. Now, for anybody that knows about food hostesses, what you do is you get this gadget that you can either put it on the table or you can get tables for it or legs for it. And the gadget allows you to keep food warm. You can have it, electric plugged into it. So you put your vegetables in there, your potatoes in there, and your carrots in there, whatever it is, and it keeps it warm. And the whole point is you wheel it in, and it's all lovely and warm, and people can tuck in when they want to. And if you want to spend 20 minutes, toasting the Queen or whatever it is you want to do before you eat your food, then you can do that. Now, the whole point behind the hostess is that the metaphor is when it comes to prospecting, because when you prospect for people, modern sales funnels, so whatever it is your prospecting methodology that you're using, and we often call it a sales funnel, don't you? You can call it that if you want to. A lot of people have an upside down sales funnel, which actually is probably a better way of looking at it. So if you drew that upside down, there you go. That's the old sales funnel, as we used to call it. In other words, you bring in your prospects, however you do that, whatever your marketing is, and these prospects, of course, go down the funnel, and eventually they start to go into your sales process, and you can then start selling them, advising them. That's a very traditional sales funnel. Now, of course, things have changed a lot in that respect, because no longer can you expect people to have your entire attention when you bring them into your fold. What happens now, of course, though, is that you might make you've targeted somebody, but you may not get in touch with them because of modern methods of communication. In the old days, when you just had the telephone and letters, people pretty much got your attention. But nowadays, you've got so many different ways of doing it. People often don't talk to you. I mean, I keep my mobile phone on silent all the time, and I don't answer it because I don't just go straight to voicemail. I sometimes pick up messages, I very rarely do. If it's important, they'll phone back or they'll send me an email or whatever it is. But the world has changed. So what happens, you see, somebody comes into your funnel, and we'll call it an upside down funnel here for you. They come into your funnel, and what you need to do now is you need to touch them 10 times before they get anywhere near your sales process. And it's these 10 touch points that you need to be flexible with. Let's give you some ideas about which ones you can do. The first one you could do, if it's in the corporate world, we're talking here, business to business, it could be consumers you're talking to as well, is you could invite them along a good old-fashioned webinar. Now, webinars are great things, a good old-fashioned webinar. You could get an expert in your business to come talk about something. It could be somebody to talk about equity release, maybe. You could get one of the providers in to talk about it yourself, maybe. But invite your customers along, and there'll be a number of customers you can invite to the webinar and see if they want to attend. If they don't attend, they can watch the replay. Very popular way of doing it. As long as it's information rich and not a commercial, then I think you're okay, you're good to go for that one as well. You could do some kind of showcase. You could do a presentation. You could go along to a meeting and do a presentation to a group of people. You could do a showcase and invite them along to that. They could be online or offline as well. That's one way of doing it. On the same basis, you could do an online video. You could do a video on the topic, whatever it is you're selling. It could be features, benefits about a particular product or whatever it is. You could do a nice online video, maybe a cartoon-based video, whatever's plenty of software that you can do that for now as well. You could do a personalised video and send it to somebody. So rather than sort of a general online one, do a personalised video. I've seen them on LinkedIn. It depends on the quality, but you can send that to your prospect, who you are, what you do, what you're about. Just sub 1 minute might be quite nice to see a face. You can link the video to Vimeo or private site somewhere, and send them a link to that. That's another way of doing it if you want to do it that way as well. Sometimes works as well. You could do some writing. You could do a white paper. You could do some kind of written product you send to people. Now, I do a lot of writing. I'll show you an example of what I do here. is one that I published last week, which is called The Trusted BDM, which is the Business Development Manager. It's an article I wrote, which I think is a jolly good article too. And I got this company to print these all off for me. And I post these to people that are in my sales funnel, and they'll have a look at it hopefully, and they'll appreciate the fact that I know what I'm talking about roughly, and therefore they give me a call. That's again another way you could do it. So you could do lots of writing. You could write a white paper, an article, whatever it is you want to do. Let's change the colour pen cherry along the way as well. Get involved in LinkedIn. If LinkedIn is your bag, then get involved in LinkedIn. I've already linked in with 3 people this morning. It's 10 o'clock here on a Monday. This chap from UAE, in fact, United Arab Emirates, wants to come on an online course of mine in the autumn, which is great. Do a lot of my training online now. That's the way the world is moving. So typical workshop, but done online, and it's a full day. And he's interested, so I emailed him back, but I went on LinkedIn with him. We started to talk via LinkedIn. I've already connected with a couple of people from the weekend on LinkedIn. If that's your bag, then use that one as well. It might well be another kind of social media that you have. It might be Twitter that you're looking to link in with people with. It could be Facebook if you're in the consumer market, or Instagram, whatever is your preferred method of social media. These things all work, don't they? Other couple of things you might want to do. You might want to produce some kind of podcast. Podcasts are great things. People listen to these things, of course. You could produce a podcast, put it on iTunes or whatever it is, or one of the other methods, and get your prospect to connect to that and listen to your podcasts. As long as your podcasts are interesting, they talk about your topic, your expertise. Don't be afraid of telling people everything. Tell people exactly how they want to do whatever it is they want to do. And if they want to do it themselves, fine. But most people want to engage you to do it for them. That's the key thing of the modern world. Nobody has any knowledge that's alone anymore. Nobody's got knowledge in their head that nobody else has got. The internet's spread everything. It's democratized absolutely everything for you as well. And the last thing you want to do, I think I've got 10 there for you, is you could even send them an email. There you go. There's a thought, isn't it? Emails still work. You could email people things if you want to, messages. LinkedIn email also works particularly well if it's a business-to-business setting. So these things that I call 10 touch points. The whole point behind them is that you use them. You use them to send people information. The email could be a weekly one. I have 3 or 4 weekly emails I send to people. One on a Sunday night, one on Monday night, one on Tuesday night. I get emails from my corporate people I buy from. Who did I get one from the other day? Green Flag, who do my breakdown cover. They're pretty cool. They always send emails about latest sort of driving ideas. How to drive in the ice, for example. What to do in the sudden heat. How to make sure you regas your air conditioning system. They actually provide you with useful information, which is why I like them as well. So that's something to think about as well. Yeah, that's my Christmas list. Is a shopping or a food hostess. If you want to get me a food hostess for Christmas, I'll be very happy with that one. I also put on my list a gadget that checks for wires behind walls. I've got a new screwdriver set as well. What to buy for a man in his mid-50s? It's a difficult one, isn't it? I hope you found that useful. I did too.